All right, hello students. This lesson is going to be over combining like terms. Okay, so we're going to start off with first defining what a term is. So a term is any thing that's going to be added or subtracted in an expression like so. So we have 3x squared, negative 2x, 5x, and negative 3 are all terms. So anything that is added or subtracted in an expression. Okay, so next we have a coefficient. A coefficient is a number that is in front of a variable or a letter. So for example, 3 is a coefficient, negative 2 is a coefficient, positive 5, and negative 3. So to define it, a coefficient is a number in front of a, we'll say letter for now. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the variable. The variable is the letter or letters that are in a term. So for example, we have the x is our variable for this expression. And notice that the 3 doesn't have a variable. We call that a constant. Let's see, a variable is a letter in a term. Okay, and then last, we're going to talk about the exponent. Do that one blue. So our exponent is when our coefficient or variable is raised to a certain power. It's always going to be a little number that looks higher up. So in our expression, this 2 is an exponent. None of the other terms have an exponent. So in this example, the only exponent that we have is the 2 on the first term, the 3x squared. So an exponent is a term raised to a power. Okay? All right. So now we're going to talk about what is a like term. So a like term is when in an expression we have terms with the same variable and exponent. We call those like terms. So the important part here is they have to have the same variable and exponent to be considered a like term. All right, how do we combine like terms? So if we have like terms, we're going to add or subtract the like terms. All right, so here below we're going to do an example to help tie it all up. Okay. And color coordinating helps, so make sure you have your highlighters. So starting with the first term, I have a negative 2x. So to find a like term, we're going to find any term that has an x with it. The number in front does not matter. So the negative 4x is a like term, and the negative 15x. Next, we're going to find all the like terms of 3. So any number that doesn't have a letter, so the 5 and the 11 and the negative 15. And then the negative 4x squared is a like term with the positive 2x squared. So now we're going to add or subtract them all together. So I have negative 2x, a negative 4x, and a negative 15x. I'm going to go ahead and change that color so you can see that better. Okay, now for the variables or the terms 3, positive 5, positive 11, and negative 15. And then negative 4x squared and a positive 2x squared. Okay, so now using your calculator, you're going to type in the negative 2, negative 4, and a negative 15. Okay, so we get a negative 21x. And then we're going to add these. And we get a positive 4. And then the last one, we get a negative 2x squared. And that is our final answer. Okay, here's another example. Okay, so this one might look a little scary because we have 2 letters, but we're going to treat it the same way. So first term is an x, so we're going to find every term in this expression that has an x only, and it can have a number, it's fine. So the 2x is a like term. This xy is not because it has a y. So we're going to go over, this is another like term, a negative 3x, and that is all. Our next term, let's do the negative 9, the negative 2, and the negative 4. And then next, our xy term, so anything that has an xy. So then we have the 2xy and the negative 3xy. And just like above, we're going to add or subtract all those terms together. So I have a x, positive 2x, and a negative 3x. Then I have the negative 9, negative 2, and negative 4. And then I have a positive xy, a positive 2xy, and a negative 3xy. Okay, so then we use our calculator again to add all the coefficients in the front to get our final expression. So these will end up canceling out. And then just make sure that you know that this is a 1. If it helps you, make sure you put the 1 there. So I have a 1x plus 2x minus 3x. Those cancel out, so we have none. Over here, we're going to have a negative 15. And over here, just like the first one, remember that this is a 1xy. So a 1xy plus a 2xy minus 3xy, those also cancel out. So my answer is just negative 15. All right, last one. Okay, starting with the 4x, we're going to find every term that has an x. So we have a positive 2x, a negative x, and that is all. Then we're going to go to the yz. We have a positive yz and a positive 2zy. And just notice that the order of the letters doesn't matter. Then I have a negative 3, a positive 8, and a negative 9. And then all we have left is this lonely 4xyz. So that one's not going to change. There's nothing to add or subtract it to, so that's going to be part of our answer at the end. So our first set is the x's. So I have 4x, positive 2x, and a negative 1x. Then I have a positive yz and a positive 2zy. And I'm going to go ahead and put the 1 right there. Then I have the 4xyz all by itself. And then the negative 3, positive 8, and negative 9. We add those up. 4 plus 2 is 6, minus 1 is a positive 5x. I have 1yz plus 2yz is going to be a positive 3yz, plus the 4xyz, and then add our coefficients. We have negative 12 plus 8 is going to be a negative 4. And that's going to be our answer. And that is all.